tie up the Indestructible Baitfish. This is probably the most popular pattern I think I've come up with. Anything that eats 3 to 4 inch baitfish is gonna eat this. Kind of came into be because I fish for a lot of fishing Narragansett Bay a lot, striped bass. There's a lot of bluefish around. I wanted a fly that could hold up to bluefish without getting destroyed, and having to change the fly out every 2 or 3 fish. This kind of fits that bill. You don't need a lot of materials. I start off with some these new Mustad C77 SAP hooks. You can use either 3 or 4/0. It's their rune point. It keels really well. Penetrates the fish's jaw very easily, and they seem to stay hooked up pretty well with that. You need some kind of UV resin, either thick or medium, and then you need some kind of head cement. I'm just using some Solaris bone dry here. And then really after that, all you need is a couple EP brushes, the Ultra Brush 5 inch and Foxy brush in 3 inch. You can either use pink Foxy brush, chartreuse, white, tan. The most popular color that I kind of tie is I call it bone, and I think EP has it listed as a sand Foxy brush, but it kind of looks like it's like the bone color of like plugs. I would suggest getting one of these finger brushes to comb out the fly, both while you're tying it and after catching a couple fish on it. So you can try to make your own, but these are pretty inexpensive at $5. They are all stainless steel. I have one sitting in the boat in the cup holder, and it didn't rust out on me. And I use Viva's 140 power thread. It's probably as strong as any 210 denier thread, like a Danville flat wax or a UTC 210. It is a flat wax thread just like those. It's just stronger, and I can get away with using a thinner diameter and can be a little more liberal with the wraps and not have to worry about bulking up too fast. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so start off with the 140 thread. I usually just start, about 3/4 of the way up and wrap backwards. You never really want to tie any materials onto a bare shank. If you do that, you're just, looking for problems and have them rotate around the shank on you. Then we'll take the Ultra Brush. I like to cut about 2 inches off the back side of this. If you're going to use your scissors to do this, get all the way down as far as you can and just use that part of the scissors to cut. That way you're not dulling your tips. And then we're going to take about those 2 inches off one side of the Ultra Brush. And we're just going to cut it right off. We'll save the other side for the next fly. And this is going to be the tail of the fly. I tried a lot of things to make the tail. Bucktail originally, faux bucktail, EP fibers. Nothing really blends as well with the Ultra Brush as this Ultra Brush does. And you don't really want to skip this step of putting a tail in, because you'll see when we're wire wrapping the rest of the brushes, if you don't put a tail in the back, you're gonna have like an open space in the back, and it doesn't swim right. It doesn't really look as good either. So you definitely want some kind of tail on there. I just found that this, using this piece of Ultra Brush is probably the best thing that I found. So the rest of the brush, let's take that, again, cut it in half. It's kind of hard to just work with the whole entire brush, so I like working with smaller pieces. Then we're gonna take this, I'm just gonna tie it right in and wrap all the way back, covering all your thread wraps. And wrap all the way forward. And what you're gonna wanna do, with the Ultra Brush, we're gonna do open wraps. So you're looking for about maybe 4 to 5 wraps to go straight up this. We're gonna preen back every single wrap. So we'll go under, and these are not touching wraps, they're open wraps. You really want to create a nice taper, a lot of bulk up front, and not so much in the back. It's 2 wraps there. It's number 3. We'll just keep preening back. Number 4. I'm gonna stop right there. When you get to the end, pull up all the fibers on your brush, preen all this back once behind it, and then just go in front and right on top of it a couple times. Take that base of your scissors, snip that right off. We're going to get our finger brush. We're going to brush this right out. Don't be afraid here. This is where you want to get all your loose pieces out of the fly. You want everything nice and open. All right. Hold everything back. Now we're going to loosely wrap back to the hook point. We don't want this to twist. That's why I'm wrapping loose right here. Once you get to the hook point, then you can start cinching down, go back forward. And go right back to the hook point. So we'll take one of our Foxy brushes. You can probably get about 4 of these flies out of one Foxy brush. What I do is I cut the brush in half, just to begin to make it easier. And we'll tie it in right here. And now for these wraps, we do want to touch. We want a lot of bulk up front. We want to squeeze as many wraps as we can up to this hook eye. So again, just the same way we wrap the ultra brush in, preen everything back. And you don't want to overlap because then you're going to trap fibers. But you do want to be close to one another on these. And this is where you're kind of going to have to gauge the Foxy brush that you got in your pack, because they're not all the same. Some have less fibers, some won't be as long, some will be more bushy. It is mostly a natural material, this Foxy brush. A lot of fox fur in this, a little bit of EP fiber, and there's a little bit of flash in there, but the fox makes up the bulk of it. And again, this fly is going to last a lot of fish. So just take your time doing this. You don't have to rush. It doesn't take long. It's a pretty easy tie. Once we get up to the front, I'm going to do the same thing that we did, the ultra brush. I'm going to pull up, wrap once behind it, do a couple wraps right in front. I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to brush this right out. Make sure to brush this out well. Don't want anything trapped here. I want all this bulk out. And if you can see, kind of hold everything back. And then I'll wrap. And this is where I like this 140 thread. You can get a lot of nice small wraps up front. You don't wind up with a big nose fly. It can't stand when you get the big nose up front on the fly. But that looks pretty good right there. We'll just do like a two-turn whip finish on this guy. And I'll take my bone dry. Get some on top. And we don't want this to come untied, so be a little liberal with that. We'll just cook that till it sets. And we'll adjust the camera and I'll show you how we put the eyes on this thing. There we go. All right, so this part's important. The way these eyes go on are gonna help the fly hold its shape. And the glue that's behind the eyes is gonna help the fly hold its shape. So these are size 3/8, number 6 oval pupil eyes. Kind of want to pinch the fly like this, get a nice shape up front there. I'm going to take the eye. I like to get some of the stickiness off just so it doesn't stick to your fingers. Then I'm going to take, this is thick solar ice. We'll put a dollop right in the middle. And then we're going to put this down right in line with the hook shank. And pull up so you get some fibers. And then what you want to do is you want to pull all this fur up. You just want to cook it with the light. Right on top, behind it, under it. And what you did, you just took your glue and you trapped, the glue with the eye between 100 to 200 fox hairs. And to get this eye to pull off, you'd have to get it to pull out all that mess too. And with the stainless steel brush, the way it's woven in there, they're just not going to come off like this. I'm going to flip it over. Again, make sure it's even. Take your eye. Right in the middle. You don't have to go crazy with the glue. Okay, I'm just gonna lay it right on top where the shank is. You pull up. Make sure it's distributed exactly how you want it. Cook all around the eye. Hit it from the bottom. Hit it from the top. It'll penetrate right through there. You don't have to worry about it not setting. And then you'll see that what you're left with is a nice baitfish profile. Again, anything that eats a 3 or 4 inch baitfish is gonna eat this. And you saw the way we tied it, the way all these brooches are constructed with the stainless steel wire and the way they're wrapped in there. And you wrap on top of all your thread wraps. It's really hard for a fish to destroy this, even a bluefish. Again, grab one of these, keep it on the boat with you, catch a couple fish, it starts getting matted down, just brush the whole thing right out, and then you can just run it right back into shape. And there's your indestructible baitfish.